Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So this is the full moon of January, and this evening, I don't know if any or any of the others have seen the moon, but it's this amazingly bright moon, and I saw it coming up very early in the evening, also the last couple of days, and I think somebody referred to it as a super moon, but not sure. It looks super to me, so yeah, beautiful. Yeah. This is also the eve of our winter retreat. Annual 3-month winter retreat begins tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. in here. So it's, I think, a wonderful tradition that most of our monasteries in the West and Northern Hemisphere observe this. Not quite all of them, but most of them, and I think it's a marvelous tradition that got started decades ago, and giving an opportunity to step back from more activity and just simplifying things. It's also a very quiet time of year, typically, except when storms roll in, obviously, but nature is really... especially right now, it just seems like the most kind of asleep, But you can see even the last few weeks, the snowdrop, they've been poking their head up along the pathway to my kuti, my hut. They've been poking their heads up, kind of, saying, "Okay, yeah, there is this thing called flowers that come up." And the trees, many of them have set their buds. It's a perpetual cycle, as we know. And so, but this time of the year is very, very quiet in terms of nature. There's a very little light element, although the light element did start returning about 12 days ago. The day is getting longer now, and so, but it's. Personally, I find it a very useful time to scale back activity and to go inwards. So the weather isn't sort of pulling us outdoors so much. And we are grateful for the support that we get every day of the year, but this particular time has an added element of having a lay support team come. And so, gratitude to all of you. Now that we're all together, and it's a special offering, and it is appreciated. It is greatly appreciated, giving those of us in the resident monastic community, in particular, an opportunity to step back. So I came across, just in some of my Dhamma reading this afternoon, one of the Dhammapada verses, and I don't remember which number, and I'm not going to try and quote the whole thing, but it touches on karma, and to not ignore the accumulation of karma. So karma, in our tradition, literally means action. It's not fate. It's not something that we're just born with this prescribed volume of karma, or sort of prefixed, preset life. But karma means action, and then there is results. So it's just cause and effect. There is an action and there is a result. And the Dhammapada phrase talks about to not be, don't be ignorant of, I'm paraphrasing here obviously, to the effects of accumulative actions. And and sometimes, and it's talking about like small actions, so that the accumulation of small unskillful actions will fill up a bowl, just like singular drops of water will eventually fill up the bowl. So many singular unskillful acts, they fill up. We can end up with some accumulative negative karma, so the results of those acts. The good news is, well, that's good news, because we can control what we do. Because it's karma based on action based on intention. Intentional action. So where there's intention, we have choice. Because it's our choices that choose the intention. But then the even better news is that it works the other way as well. So even the smallest wholesome acts, don't ignore that. Not to think that just the small things that we do in life are inconsequential. So both skillful and unskillful. And that here again, just like the bowl that fills up with singular drops over time, drip, 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 it fills up, so that those good results fill up. So as I mentioned, I'm intentionally saying this again, is that to me this is good news on both sides. This is good news. So the reason I'm reflecting on this evening is because sometimes when some of us, when we enter retreat periods, we can maybe not realize the power of just really ordinary Dhamma practice. This the everyday, just getting through a day skillfully, applying ourselves skillfully, whether that's in our meditation, or whether it's doing our chore, or whether it's just whatever is that we do it fully, we do it mindfully. It doesn't need to be grand, it doesn't need to be a big splash. We don't have to make some huge determination, to some heroic effort right now I'll refer to our practice, our meditation practice. Just follow the routine, come to the meditations, to bear with. It can be difficult, especially all-day group practice, which we're beginning tomorrow. To begin at 5 in the morning, and in this monastery for the last few years, we've had the standard that even forest dwellers that normally don't need to come to morning and evening puja, but even those dwelling in the forest, in kutis, they come to the morning puja. Evening puja, they can go back to the forest. But we all come in, and that's it's dark, it's cold. I mean, it's not easy to come in at 5 in the morning, to be ready in our seats at 5 a.m., to not be wandering in late, to have that intention, to have that mindfulness of getting here on time, and coming and applying ourselves, as best we can, to come to all the sessions, and to bear with. Just even getting through a day like that can be, for some of us, can be just that in itself challenging. But to not ignore those are the wholesome drips, and some drips are bigger than others, and so those are that accumulative effect, and building spiritual qualities of determination and patience. Now and then we might make determinations that maybe we want to develop certain aspects of our qualities in our life, and those determinations can be very helpful. But I would suggest that we don't get, that we be attentive to not making unrealistic goal, to not make it goal-oriented. Because personally I think that's a very worldly way to approach spiritual practice. Is it we put in those, if we want to, let's say we want to develop patience, just keep enduring, to endure, to keep going, to keep, even if we're feeling maybe negative towards some sort of aspect of our life here, but maybe we don't like doing something, but we do it with mindfulness. We're not trying to kid ourselves into liking something. That's foolish. It's like trying to turn an apple into an orange if we don't like. So for me, for instance, I have a sort of, I'm going to use extreme language. I have a sort of love-hate relationship to all-day group practice. Okay, that's a bit extreme. So maybe I'll say liking and disliking. It's maybe a bit softer. I have a liking and disliking relationship to all-day group practice, and yet I see the value in it. It's to see, if we see the value in something, even though it's not something we necessarily enjoy all the time, or maybe even none of the time. Maybe we enjoy it all the time, but to see the value in something that's wholesome and something that it's beneficial and leading onwards, leading us to realize the peace that the Buddha realized. That unshakable, unconditional peace, not the peace based on getting what we want, getting the routine that we want, or getting our meditation the way we want it. Because that's if we have if we have some sort of projected idea of what meditation, what the experience of meditation should be, or we want to be. This can often really set us up for disappointment, because meditation is a tool, it's not the goal. Could be a short-term goal, is to develop our meditation, of course. That's what we're doing, we're developing, but it's not the goal. The goal is to use, so we're using our Dhamma tools, our meditation tools, our spiritual practice tools. We're using those tools to realize unshakable peace. And we can get, it's a real common thing, and I know I speak about this quite a lot, and I nearly always say that I fell into this trap of trying to perfect the tool and miss the point, and I was creating suffering over never feeling that my meditation was good enough. Was I concentrated enough? Or no, I'm thinking. Oh, well, yeah, minds think. It's part of the package. And because we have language, we think, because that's what thinking is. Thinking is language, and because we have language, and we have complex language, and we have these amazing intellects, the human intellect, and therefore the mind thinks, and our habit is generally around thinking, and maybe some of us think too much, however we can measure that. But it's where we're learning to relate to the inner experience of the outer world, or the inner experience of our thinking mind. We're learning to relate to that in a way where we don't suffer. If we're just trying to annihilate thinking temporarily, or to measure our meditation by how much we've been thinking or feeling emotions, I'm feeling anxious, so therefore my meditation is not going well. No, if we know we're feeling anxious and we don't create suffering out of that, then our meditation is going brilliantly. There's just anxiety present. I'm feeling restless, and choose your experience. If we can experience things without causing suffering, can we experience pain without suffering? Can we see the difference between pain and being able to hold that in our awareness, our mindfulness, our consciousness? So now with this meditation retreat, 3 months, of course here the structure of our day always allows for meditation. And that's 365 days a year. There's always, even on our quiet days, that gives us more space for personal practice. And personal practice might involve going out on alms round, and all these are all practice, because the formal meditations, as we know, that's just formal meditation. So the meditation, once we're tuned in, mindful, aware, then that's our practice. We're practicing towards the end of suffering, if we use it correctly. So using formal meditation like this, sitting, walking, standing, lying down, these are brilliant, because they give us a special opportunity to quiet things down, and to get in tune with that awareness, to get in tune with that mindfulness that we can apply all the time. So that's a particular tool. And then using that mindfulness as a tool, or as Lumpur Sumedho used to often use the phrase, that mindfulness as the escape hatch from suffering. So where we can feel, we can experience something unwanted, or experience something really wanted and not grasp it and grab it and create dukkha, create that stress around trying to hold the wanted, or the stress around trying to get rid of the unwanted. We can actually be with those, and we can even make efforts to get away from something, or to move something along in our experience which is not wanted. But we do that with discernment. If we don't do it through ignorance, if we do it through ignorance of what we're doing energetically, sort of in psychological terms, then that's that stress of, oh, I've got to get rid of this. Or if we think, I've got to get this to be whole, I've got to get rid of this to be whole. This is the suffering. Instead of, oh, I'll try to move this along. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And then we can put in effort. It's just that we don't become this sort of doormat to life. No, we have agency. We have Dharma tools as part of our agency. We've all come into this. We've all, in whichever way we did, whether we were intentionally seeking spiritual practice, and we're looking around at what resonated with us, what worked for us, or whether we just stumbled into this and or something in between. We've all are now being exposed to teachings and ways of living and encouragements. It's like the encouragements of living with precepts. Of course, tonight this was the 8 precepts. This is what we offer. But out in the world, living on the 5 precepts, amazing, absolutely amazing. It's profound to live on the 5 precepts. As I say over and over again, can you imagine the world living on 5 precepts? Right? Looking at the news would be very different. Right? The world would be very different. So those are also the drips. Sometimes I've heard people say over the decades that I've been practicing, oh, I'm only living on the 5 precepts. No, amazing that you're living on the 5 precepts. These are big drips. They're filling up that really positive. I could only manage 1 week of all-day group practice, which is actually what we're doing now. Just 1 week, by the way, just in case you think I've got another week up my sleeve. Amazing. And so to recognize the things that are actually maybe you think we think are small, don't ignore it. Then going back to what I was touching on several minutes ago about, be careful that I encourage all of us, myself included, to be careful of this achievement, acquiring mind, trying to acquire, because then we start measuring, trying to achieve, acquire. When we start trying to measure advancement and to measure, it's what are we actually measuring it against? Do we really know? It's like, it's can be frustrating because in the suttas, it's not the Buddha. He didn't describe nibbana. He used via negativa. He used negations, the unborn, the uncreated, non-suffering, non-clinging, non-grasping. He didn't say what it was. He said what it wasn't. So how do we measure? How do we measure? So that's why I think, to try and measure, or if we get into, am I a stream enterer, or am I a once returner? And to look at when we look at the at the teachings, and just that can get also into a sort of achieving mind, achieving energy. Keep practicing. Apply ourselves to the teachings. And we don't have to know all of the teachings, we don't have to know all of the suttas, we don't have to but really to use the core, we can use those core teachings. Using meditation, using quietude when we can. Yeah, and using the little things, as I was saying very early on in this sharing this evening, that just everything we do, and we don't have to do it in a tight way. It's like, I have to be mindful of my sweeping, but just be mindful of sweeping. Relaxed attentiveness. So there's a relaxation, and yet that we're fully aware of relaxation. We're aware of what we're doing in a relaxed way. If we get overly tight, same with formal meditation. If we get, at least in my own experience, and also speaking with people, many people over the years, if we get too tight and too narrow, we can kind of bind ourselves, and create tension potentially where there wasn't tension. So many of our teachers, and I at least in my own experience, who teach in English, tend to refrain from, shy away from using the word like concentrate in terms of meditation. It's valid. I'm not arguing that it's not valid. It's totally valid, and for some people maybe that's the better word for them in terms of what they need in their practice. But just to share more and more people that this settledness, collectedness, concentrate. So for many of us, it can have a tightness instead of a spaciousness. So we collected. Is there space and openness in our mindfulness? And yes, we may be using the breath as our object of meditation, or maybe we're using silent mantra, or maybe whatever. And that's giving the mind an anchor to the present moment. And then it lets us also know that if we've strayed, because we had a place, but do we have to just be with the breath? Are we trying to isolate our human experience to just close out everything else? Is our one-pointedness, is it the point that includes everything? Or is it the point that excludes everything? That's one of these phrases in meditation, ekakata. One typically translation of one-pointedness. Well, is it this, Am I looking through just a little pinhole? Or am I the pin receiving everything? So maybe we can use both of those. Maybe at times we can use that narrower, but then also expansive. Relaxed awareness, relaxed attention, aware of the arising and ceasing of experience, the flow of experience. So during this week of group practice, we've got lots of formal meditation. Every morning there'll be a Dhamma reflection at 8:30 in the morning. But we also have space, between the meal time, and then we start again at 2 p.m. So there's space. 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. there's space. Ajahn Ahimsako during the first half of the retreat will be offering on Wednesday evening a sutta study class. There'll be Dhamma talks. There'll be guided meditation on Sunday. There's lots of opportunity. So yeah, just encourage everybody to who's participating in this, really utilize this opportunity and be open to what comes up. To really relax into the routine. Move forward and don't ignore the little things. Don't ignore those drips. And either way. So if there's some unwholesome drips happening, don't ignore them. Make them good. Turn them into wholesome drips. So, okay, I'll close the reflection this evening. So. Well, we can chant the reflection on universal well-being in English. That's on page 41 in the dark brown book. Now let us chant a reflection on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs. We'll do the closing homage on page 16. That's in Pali and English.